Hello, my name is George Akel from Govern HR. I recently presented at the HRD HR Tech Talk Summit on the topic of navigating HR tech. Now, at the time and since, I've received some queries from some of the folks that were there and some of the folks that were unable to attend at the time, just asking for some further clarification and the ability to view the slides once again. So I've put together here a brief overview for those that are interested, and I hope it can help. HR is currently spoiled for choice when it comes to HR tech. HR tech has developed significantly over the past decade or so, and its use is instrumental in a successful HR function. So it gives you automation, it streamlines repetitive tasks, reduces errors, and saves time and money. It helps with data management, for example, data security, everything across the entire employee life cycle, efficient recruitment, employee self-service. It could reduce the time and resources required to conduct certain tasks, which is a cost saving. And it also gives your organization the ability to scale up when growing or faced with challenges externally. So scalability is a key aspect of it. Regardless of what tech we're talking about, be it a complete comprehensive HCM or a payroll system or a bespoke HR system covering certain aspects of the employee life cycle, they all bring the rewards with them. But with that reward comes some risk, and the risk revolves around implementing it successfully and well-governed process around it. And I'm going to go through that right now. Now, we all know that anything that's not well governed has the potential to fall apart, break down, and create more problems. And the same goes absolutely for HR tech. Now, the following couple of slides will give you an idea of when things go terribly wrong, and they are incredibly embarrassing. So they have a significant impact on your reputation, and they are very expensive. So they impact your financial situation as well. Now, most HR tech implementations are successful, are done very well. They're well governed. They've got great project leads, great project management. The entire process is handled incredibly professionally, both by the HR function, the organization buying the product, and the third-party supplier. And when that works, it works incredibly well and gives great results. When it doesn't, well, it gives you absolutely the opposite. Not all failures will appear in the press like this, but this highlights, these three that I'm highlighting to you are incredible failures for various reasons and have been reputationally destroying and financially crippling almost. So it's important to get it right. Not all of them will be like this. So you will have certain processes where parts of the implementation don't work and are left behind. So you end up with a hybrid implementation where you've got some of the current processes still embedded in the future model, which is very inefficient. Other situations result in the system not being fully implemented and certain parts of the organization very satisfied with what they've got, and the other parts that have not had their component implemented being very uptight, upset, and very frustrated with the entire situation. So you get disaffected parts of your organization. So you're not really realizing the full potential. The first step in HR tech implementation really is to define the problem and your desired outcome. So what is the situation? What are you trying to achieve by going out there and sourcing a HR tech solution, right? So evaluate what you've got today and where the problems are. And then On the other side of the page, document where you want to see things. What is it that you want to see? What's your end game here, and what do you want to achieve from that? When deciding on what the issues are and where you want to be, it's important to engage all the stakeholders. So everybody's got a say, everybody's got an opportunity. You get full buy-in from the organization, and that allows you to gain the momentum needed to get this approved. The more engagement you have, the more gaps and issues you identify, the stronger your case for change will be, and the more likely you are to have this approved. Now, sometimes the issues you've got are process-driven or procedural-driven. They're not necessarily tech situations, sorry. So it's easier then to decide to change a process, an underlying process or procedure, rather than going forward with a complete tech solutions. Other times you need the tech solution. And to that point, one of the options that you may have is to stay where you are with the system you've got and just improve the process, the procedures, the training around that. That's not necessarily a bad thing. You know, it's not always the great idea to move forward with something new. Collaboration with those business owners and system owners is absolutely critical as well. So that's not just the HR function, it's not just the employees, the stakeholders there, it's also the HR, the tech people and the finance people, remembering that HR has significant interfaces with finance across the board. Once you've decided to go forward, you evaluate the various options that you've got, determining the timelines required, the effort and the cost, and you move forward to the next step. The next step requires you to build the business case for that specific option that you've all decided on. Now, the business case needs to be endorsed by all the stakeholders and management. You need to ensure that the problem statement that you've started out with and the objectives that you've evaluated are aligned with the option that you've chosen. Now, when going through the options, you need to assess them not just on the costs and the benefits, but you also need to look at them from alignment with your overall organizational needs. Where the option is including a third-party vendor, you need to conduct significant background reviews of this particular vendor, talking to existing clients, talking to past clients, reviewing market talk, news sites, etc., to completely understand where this particular vendor stands from a risk profile, a delivery profile, and a success profile. When looking at the cost analysis, you need to look at the implementation costs, the costs of decommissioning the existing system, the savings that you will get from implementing the new system, and the ongoing costs. You can't forget those. They're critical in coming up with the right business case from a financial standpoint. Once agreed and approved and you're moving forward, you need to assign somebody who is responsible, senior responsible officer, right? An SRO, so to speak. So you need to ensure that this person is the point person. This person is the liaison and point person between the HR function and the vendor, the HR function and the stakeholders. This person is the single source of truth for management and everyone concerned. So how's the project tracking? How's it going? Do you need any further resources? Are we on track, etc.? All comes from this individual. So you get a single source and there's no confusion. Once you're in the implementation phase, you need to ensure that there is absolutely 100% user acceptance testing. And this involves testing not just of the HR users, it should also involve testing by the end users, employees. So you should have some of them there to check it from their perspective. You should have your tech folks testing it from a security and data integrity and the data security, data storage, all these sorts of aspects of it. And also ensure that the individuals are testing a broad range of scenarios. So for example, you may have certain things like bonus rounds that only occur once a year. Now, it may not be bonus round now, but testing that today will ensure that it works in the future. So cover all aspects. The testing and the penetration testing, data storage testing, data supply chain testing are all critical, but you also need to ensure that the other stakeholders like finance are also testing the interfaces where required and where existent into the various finance systems across the organization. My last point on implementation is to avoid customization at all costs. Customization is an absolute curse. I've seen many organizations customize their off-the-shelf software and customize it to the point where they've absolutely destroyed it and it's unable to accept upgrades from the vendor because it looks nothing like the original tech that was rolled out. Sign off on implementation needs to be looked at very, very seriously. Now, some vendors will give you the definition of completion as 2 parallel runs or 3 parallel runs or whatever the case may be. Now, that may work sometimes, but you may not be ready for that. So you need to be able to push back and ensure that sign-off is when you're satisfied that the product is implemented as agreed and is doing everything it needs to do. Training is critical for your staff, ensuring that the people that are about to embark on this new HR tech journey know how to use the system, that you've amended all your policies and procedures and processes to be in line with the new tech implementation. There is no point in having old policies, old procedures, old processes, and just tag them onto a new system. To achieve the benefits, you need to change the processes, the procedures, and the policies around and train your people to be able to utilize the new system to its full capacity. Once fully implemented, you need to make sure that the old system is retired. You need to determine how you're going to manage that historical data. Have you moved it to the new system, or are you storing it separately, and how it can be accessed? This is important for regulatory issues as well as just daily procedures that you have. Decide who owns the ongoing relationship with the third-party vendor. Is it HR, is it HRIT, etc.? And then establish a regular service review meeting, measuring the performance against agreed KPIs, discussing issues, upgrades, complaints, etc. These are key. Now, if you want to find out more on HR governance, whether it's from a tech perspective or whether it's from any aspects of HR, please contact us at the website. You can schedule your free HR discovery session or just schedule a chat to discuss whatever it is that you want to discuss in regards to your HR needs. We can also, if you'd like, organize a lunch and learn session where we could come out and meet your team and just discuss a topic in particular or just HR governance in general. Thanks for listening, and I hope you found this helpful.